Hello, and welcome to Best Places with Kayla and Courtney. In today's episode, we're going to show you some of our awesome residential communities.
When you live the Bulls life, you're an important part of the USF family. Residents participate in USF traditions, enact positive change in their communities, and unite over shared interests.
So without further ado, let's explore. Welcome to Juniper Poplar Hall. Opened in 2009, this hall houses many residents, including students from a variety of living learning communities. Students call this community JP, or JPH for short.
One of the special things about JP is its proximity to the classroom buildings on South Campus. If you're hungry, you can dine at Juniper Dining, Starbucks, or the Pod Market right downstairs. Since you can just pop down to grab a bite to eat, you don't even have to change out of your PJs.
Welcome to Maple. Maple is a suite-style residence hall. My favorite thing about Maple is the beautiful study area in the courtyard of the building.
Plus, Maple is home to the ROTC LLC. Our ROTC students love living so close to the ROTC building. We've heard it helps for those early morning wake-up calls.
If you're a student seeking apartment-style accommodation, consider Holly, Cypress, or Magnolia Apartments. These communities are ideal for students looking for the privacy of having their own bedroom while sharing a kitchen and living room with a few roommates.
Apartment style is a great option for upperclassmen who want to create lifelong friendships with their roommates and focus on their studies.
Speaking of making friends, are you looking for campus events? Residence Hall events are open to all students and are sponsored by the Residence Hall Association, or RHA. Get involved with your hall's RHA to create new campus traditions. Every community on campus has its own RHA chapter. Welcome to Argos, home to Beta, Castor, and Kosovo. Argos has plenty of spots for outdoor studying or recreation. It's home to Argos Exchange, which is one of the best places on campus to grab a quick bite to eat.
Beta and Castor are both traditional style residence halls, and Kosovo offers apartment style rooms.
Our residents in traditional style housing are pretty competitive. We hear Beta and Beta and Cooler and Castor all the time. The verdict? We think they're both correct. Argos is home to a beautiful lawn where it's the best place to throw a frisbee on campus. We're here in the village courtyard where it's the best place to take in the beautiful views of the village. You'll notice that each building has a different paint color and banner graphic. We call these wayfinders. The wayfinders allow students, families, and their guests to easily find their way home.
When you live the Bulls life, you're home. Get involved, receive in-hall academic support, walk to class, and form lifelong friendships. The perks of living on campus are endless.
Hey Courtney, where's the best place to watch USF Housing live?
I don't know about the best place, but the best time is right now. Sit tight and get ready for USF Housing Live.
Jessica Barron, Sierra Rose, Elisa Goldberg, Max Morinelli, Kayla Williams, Matt Satchwell, Burley Gomez, Jennifer Drewbear, Taylor Finke, Stephanie Chalkman, Jeremy Lamberti. Wednesday, April 3rd, 2019. Coming to you from the beautiful University of South Florida campus in Tampa, it's USF Housing Live!
Welcome everyone, this is USF Housing Live. I'm your host, Jessica Barron with Housing and Residential Education at the beautiful University of South Florida in Tampa. Our motto, best place to live, best place to work, and best place to learn. Tonight's episode is Explore the Village. To everyone joining us live, we are here to answer your questions so you are prepared to live the Bulls life. If you have a question, no matter where or how you're watching, just type it in the comments and we will answer you in real time. Let's go ahead and meet tonight's guests. Joining us from Residential Education is the Residence Life Coordinator of Horizon Hall. Welcome, Nicole Onofreo.
Hey, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course, pleasure to have you here, Nicole. Our first guest tonight is the Assistant Director of the Office of Multicultural Affairs, who oversees diversity education. She is representing the Stonewall Suites Living Learning Community. Welcome to the show, Rachel Garcia. Rachel, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Rachel, tell us, what do you do here at USF?
Yeah, so like you said, my name is Rachel Garcia. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm an assistant director in the Office of Multicultural Affairs, and I handle most of our diversity education. So that means that when people are asking for a certain kind of training, maybe on bias or something like that, I'm the person that comes out and does that training.
Awesome. Rachel, where is the Stonewall Suites LLC actually located here at USF?
It is in Beacon Hall, right in the Village, so it's in a really great location that's kind of a central hub. It's 5 to 7 minutes walk, depending on how fast you walk, to the Marshall Student Center, which is lots of student activity always going on there.
Awesome. Sounds like it's a perfect location for students.
Yeah, it's easily accessible to a lot of different things, including a Publix.
Oh, yeah, awesome. That's even better. Those public subs, right?
Yeah.
Rachel, who can actually live at the Stonewall Suites LLC?
Any USF student can live at Stonewall Suites. So it is intentionally, so we named it Stonewall Suites to honor the Stonewall riots that took place in the 1960s that really kicked off the LGBTQ plus movement. That was a moment in time that was really spearheaded by trans women of color in New York City, but also allies were out in the streets, so and giving support. So it's for the LGBTQ plus community and allies that are interested in being a support system or learning more about identities. It's a safe space.
Beautiful tribute, Rachel, and a beautiful memory to commemorate that moment in history. Rachel, can you tell us, what if a student doesn't identify with the LGBTQ community? Can they actually live in the Stonewall Suites, and why would they even want to?
Absolutely, they definitely can. So we welcome allies into the space, and I think that it's so important to have allies across campus. As we know, for folks that are in the LGBTQ plus community, having family and colleagues and friends that are really making the climate an easier place or a better place is so helpful. And so allies are welcome to come in, and there's all kinds of faculty engagement and all sorts of things that I think make it a good draw for those students. And it's a very community-based place.
And Rachel, what will a student actually get from living in this LLC? What would you tell them?
Well, I would say the first thing is they're going to have a really strong community base. I was in a living learning community when I was an undergraduate, and I've stayed friends with those people for years and years, never mind how many years, but years and years. And so I think that, the first thing is you're really building that family environment where you really feel connected. And that's so important in the LGBTQ plus community. But even more than that, you're getting intentional faculty engagement. So faculties are coming to the residence hall and doing different programming. We as staff at the Office of Multicultural Affairs and our LGBTQ plus coordinator are in the space a lot. And so there's just a lot of intentional activity and community that we build.
That's beautiful. And we actually got a shout out for Nicole from someone named Ryan. He said, "That's my residence life coordinator. Go Nicole." Do you know who Ryan is, Nicole?
He is one of my resident assistants. Thanks, Ryan.
Also, we have another viewer named Jada that has a question for you. Is there any suites available for the pre-health LLC students? And can pre-health students live in Juniper Hall Suites? Do you by any chance know?
I don't know as much about that, but obviously they can go to the residential education website and get more information. Yeah, I know they're still accepting we're still accepting applications for living learning communities.
Okay, awesome. So where should students, because we actually have another viewer named Sonya who's also asking regarding a different LLC, when are the Rising Health Professional LLC dorms going to be assigned? Do you know where students can where you can refer them to find information on that?
Yeah, so that would be an assignment question. I'm not exactly sure where they would go. You probably would know better than I do.
Yeah, they can totally call the central housing office if they have questions related to assignments, and they'll get someone connected there. I know the number. It's 813-974-0001. So they should call during normal business hours between 8 and 5, Monday through Friday, to get their assignment questions answered.
So Nicole, can you repeat that number one more time just in case someone was rushing for a pencil and paper?
Ready?
Yeah.
It's 813-974-0001.
Awesome. Thank you, Nicole.
This is why residence life coordinators are so important. They are just full of facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rachel, so let's go back into our questions for you. From your perspective, what makes the Stonewall Suites LLCs so unique?
I think it's unique because, well, first, this upcoming year will be the second year that Stonewall Suites has been open. And I think what really makes it unique is it's the only LGBTQ plus living learning community that exists. So it's a very specific community. And so I think what that does is builds on a shared experience that students have. And it becomes a safe place and a comfortable space for students. Honestly, you can go to Beacon Hall any night and you'll see the students in the open space just connecting or playing video games, but they're very close-knit. And on top of that, there's so many other opportunities that they're connected to just by being a part of the living learning community.
That's beautiful. You actually become like a real family is what it sounds like, right?
Yeah, I think so. That's what I pick up on from them, yes.
Rachel, what if a student wants to be a part of the Stonewall Suites LLCs, but they're not out with their parents yet, but their parents are the ones who pay their tuition? What can they do if they're in this situation?
Yeah, that's a really great, important question. So at no time would anything in our process in terms of applying for this living learning community would we be outing anyone or having that conversation with their parents. So it is private. On top of that, we're really intentional because we know some folks are not out and that it could put them, in a precarious situation with their family or guardians. And so we really try to be intentional about that. So we don't decorate the hall until about a week into the semester, just to make sure that, we don't decorate it, we don't really queer it up until about a week into the semester, just to make sure that people aren't concerned that their family is going to pick up on something if they're moving into that hall.
Great. Nicole, what are some of the activities or opportunities that Stonewall Suites LLC actually offers their residents?
Yeah, so there's all kinds of stuff. So, for example, this year they did a queer tour of Tampa where they went to different organizations and met with some local officials and got to see some really cool, iconic places in Tampa that have been so central to the queer community in Tampa. Additionally, the faculty advisor comes in and does sessions with them. Usually we did this year and we'll do it again as a reader, a common reader that everyone reads, and then conversations get facilitated around that with the faculty member. So it's both academic but also social and educational.
Rachel, what would you say is your favorite activity?
Let's see. I love, this is my inner nerd, but I love when the panels come into the Stonewall Suites. And for example, we had one on being queer and a person of color and brought in different people on campus that that's their identity, and they were able to talk about their experience, and it was facilitated by a faculty member. And just the richness of the conversations, they're getting into really powerful, deep stuff. And so it's really cool to see those gears turning and see people, really engaging in that way with the university.
Awesome. Well, Rachel, thank you so much for being here tonight and sharing all that information with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. It's time for us to take a short break, but don't go anywhere. This video is about one of our newest LLCs. You don't want to miss it. We'll be back with more USF Housing Live right after this.
I work in the Office of Multicultural Affairs, and the LLC that we're involved with is Stonewall Suites, which is our inclusive environment for LGBTQ plus and allied students.
The LLC is open to anyone as long as they identify as either LGBTQ+, or if they identify as an ally of the LGBT community.
So what makes my LLC unique is definitely the people within it. We have so many different people who have so many different walks of life, so many different personalities, so many different careers, but the one thing that ties them all together is we care about queer people.
It's very, very fun. It's very community-based. Everyone there is really, really happy to spend time with each other and very, very open and inviting.
We strategically picked the name, so Stonewall Suites is paying tribute to the Stonewall riots that happened in the 1960s that really kicked off the LGBTQ plus movement.
During the Stonewall riots, it wasn't just queer people out in the streets. It was their straight friends, their allies who were also out there with them, showing that they cared. So even if you're not a queer student, you can still care and you can still want to be involved.
My favorite thing about living in this LLC has got to be the community aspect of it. I've made so many good friends that I never thought I would have made, and it's literally my favorite part of being in USF right now. It's the LLC.
I know that I personally gained confidence because one of my favorite things is that there's no assumptions made about you there.
It's unique in that way, it's special, and the connections that you're gonna make will last a lifetime. Go Bulls!
Go Bulls!
Go Bulls!
Go Bulls!
I am the RA, the resident assistant for the ROTC Living Learning Community. So the LLC is open to any cadet or midshipman enrolled in the Army, Navy, or Air Force ROTC branches here at the University of South Florida.
It gives them the opportunity to be with like-minded students who want to pursue a commission in the military service, and also an opportunity to participate in a network of peer support that encourages excellence in service.
So living in the LLC means living on campus, which is extremely convenient. We are about a 4 or 5 minute walk up the road from the ROTC building, which is a very nice commute in the mornings. You have to be there at 5:15, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning for PT, as well as for the community you find there.
Even if we have our differences, we still have a common goal, I'd say, to help our country and to serve our country. So we help each other out and we support each other there. This year I have my roommate Michael. We help each other out too. We support each other in the classroom and in PT and other ROTC activities.
We will have special trips where we can go on. We will do movie nights and talk about leadership in the movies and have weekly sports competitions.
What I see a lot of times is that most non-LLC residents that are in the ROTC program in another residence hall is that they kind of wish that they did come into the LLC. They kind of see the opportunity that some of their classmates and peers had, and they feel like they've missed out on it.
You will not find a better community. ROTC itself, you have this really great community of cadets and midshipmen, but then being with the people you live with and having their support, you really have an even closer, more tight-knit community you can rely on for the rest of your ROTC career, and then still be friends for the rest of your life.
Go Bulls!
Go Bulls!
Go Bulls!
Welcome back, everyone. This is USF Housing Live. I'm Jessica Barron, and it's time to chat with Nicole Onofreo. Nicole, tell us who you are and what you do here at USF.
Yeah, so like you said, my name is Nicole Onofreo, and I serve as one of the residence life coordinators here at the university for Horizon Hall. And so my role is really unique and really special because I'm responsible for creating safe and inclusive communities for my residents and my community that I serve. And so one of my biggest responsibilities is actually administering what we call a residential curriculum. And so we have 4 really important learning outcomes in our residential curriculum: academic success, wellness, interpersonal skills, and global citizenship. And I couldn't do all the work that I do without the support of my awesome resident assistants, or RAs, that help support the facilitation of those lesson plans in my community. In addition to all that, I get to live in the hall with my residents. I manage a lot of student crisis through on-call rotation, facilities management, advising our hall council, and just being a great support for the residents in our community however I can. So I'm really excited that I get to be a part of that.
Awesome. Nicole, it sounds like you do a lot on campus. How can students that want to get involved, how can they go about doing that?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, I advise our community's hall council, and so that's one great way you can get involved as soon as you get to campus. And there's a lot of varying levels of involvement within that. You can run to be governor of the hall, lieutenant governor, a senator, and they have the additional responsibilities of attending a weekly a Residence Hall Association meeting, or RHA, and they get to vote on some cool things that are happening in our residential communities. Or you can just pop in and out however you feel compelled to by being a mayor on your floor. And so the goal of Hall Council is to put on some really intentional programs that serve the communities that you're a part of. And so it's a really great leadership opportunity if you're looking to get your feet wet right when you get to campus. First year students can be involved all the way up to upper division. And it's a really fun opportunity and a great way to make connections with those right there in your community, and me, or an assistant residence life coordinator. Like Amanda is my assistant residence life coordinator, and she helps me co-advise that, and it's a really wonderful opportunity to just connect with us in that capacity.
Sounds like you get to meet a lot of different people and you get to work with a lot of students here on campus, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm very lucky.
Awesome. Nicole, you have a fan named Josh that says, Nicole is awesome.
Thanks, Josh. I think I'm pretty cool too.
I love the confidence. I love the confidence.
Yeah, trying, you know?
Yeah. Nicole, why do residence life coordinators live in the residence halls? You mentioned that you yourself live right here, right? So
Yeah,
why do you guys do that?
Well, that's a great question. I have a lot of responsibilities that sometimes take up some time after hours. And so after 5 p.m., I may be running a staff meeting or, advising hall council through, weekly meetings or various programs. And so it just requires me being here outside the typical hours. And I like to be accessible to residents. And so it's a privilege to live on campus with these wonderful students. And I could really make an impact, after the typical 8 to 5. And so living on campus is, sometimes a lot, but also it's a really great opportunity to see my students, outside the classroom. I know that they're in class when I'm typically in the office. And so I need to be accessible to them after hours. And by allowing me to live, within the community with them, I have the opportunity to create a greater impact in the residential communities.
And Nicole, earlier you mentioned resident assistants. What are they and what is their role?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So, like I said, I wouldn't be able to do like half the work that I do within my role without their support. And so resident assistants or RAs and community managers in Greek Village or CMs, first of all, they're really smart. They have to have a 2.75 GPA to serve in the role or higher. And a lot of them have higher GPAs. And so they're academic role models for our residential students as well as mentors that really are serving as a resource for them by whatever means necessary, whether they connect them to me and I can connect them to another office, or like I said, they're facilitating those lesson plans and intentional conversations, community gatherings that really create a sense of belonging within our residence halls and get them the information that they need to be successful. And so they're really promoting student success through all the different tools that I give them as their residence life coordinator to help their residents be the best selves that they can be.
Awesome. Nicole, we have a mom who's watching and her name is Michelle, and she says, cool, my son will be in Horizon. Glad to watch today.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to welcoming your son to campus, and I hope he introduces himself to me so that I can make that positive connection right off the bat, get him involved, and connect him to his resident assistant so he can be the best version of himself here on campus.
And actually, that brings me to my next question, Nicole.
Yeah.
Why should students live on campus?
That is a great question. Well, you're definitely going to be exposed to a lot of things that you wouldn't necessarily off campus, including a lot of the intentional programs like I've mentioned through like academic initiatives, for example. So every year we host house calls where we invite faculty to come into the residence halls and share some tips to be successful academically and socially. In Horizon specifically, since we have a mom tuning in, we have a faculty in residence. His name is Dr. Pirtle. He is a faculty member in engineering, so if your son's studying engineering, there's office hours that he hosts every week, and he can drop by. And so that is just one of the many perks of living in Horizon that is afforded to our residential students. Additionally, I can walk right outside Horizon and just 2 steps away, I can get whatever food my heart desires or dessert from the hub. Their soft serve ice cream is my fave.
And if you eat too much, the fit's close by too, right?
Exactly. And so if you eat too much or you just like to work out because, wellness is really important, we have the fit that's just right over the way. And there's group fitness classes, there's the pool, and just there's always something going on in the Village Plaza in particular. And so it's always bumping. There's always something to do. People that are just passing out helpful resource information. We have Wellness Wednesdays. It's just a lot of stuff that you just can't get off campus. And most importantly, you have me, your residence life coordinator, who's here to support you and connect you to whatever you may need on campus. So, I mean, can you really get that off campus?
No, I don't think you can.
You definitely can't.
Nicole, it sounds like there's so many perks to living on campus, but what would you say you love the most about the Village?
I think the thing that I love the most about the village, and I was telling Rachel earlier, is just you just walk through the village plaza and you just hear so many different languages. I know when I step outside my office and I hear the students cooking, I could smell all the different flavors from all of our, diverse students that we're privileged enough to house here on campus. And they continue to teach me so much about their different cultures and where they come from. And I just have a new appreciation for the diversity that this campus really attracts and cultivates. And so I just think it's really great. I love it.
Nicole, I'm glad you love it so much. We actually have a viewer named Monica that says, "You're made for this, Nicole." Nicole is a former colleague of mine and a great resource for residential students. Nice to see you on USF Housing Live. Way to go.
Thanks, Monica.
Nicole, what advice do you have for incoming students who are in the early stages of the college transition planning process?
Ooh, that's a good one. Well, as a former out-of-state student, my mom would tell me that always call home, whatever that looks like for you. So lean on your loved ones, because transition to college it's a big step. You're transitioning academically, socially, and so it's really important to lean on your loved ones. However, you may need to do that to feel supported. And with all that being said, there's a lot of support here on campus to help you transition however you may feel necessary, whether that's getting involved, whether that's finding your community. I definitely encourage you to do that early and often. But again, your race, your pace, but I promise you won't regret it the sooner that you do it. And then lastly, please don't be afraid to introduce yourself to your residence life coordinator or your assistant residence life coordinator or your RAs or CMs, because we're here to support you. That's our jobs. Let us help you. And so if you're struggling, we want to know, and we want to get you the resources that you need to be successful here and achieve success however that looks for you.
Nicole, we also have another viewer named Michelle, and she asks, how many resident assistants per floor? And how can a student prepare to become an RA in the future? Can you be an RA for more than 1 year?
That's a lot of questions. I think it varies by community how many RAs or CMs per floor. I know community managers, it's 1 CM per house. And again, RAs kind of vary. I know in the village, typically there's 2 to 3 per floor, and they're responsible for about 30 to 40 residents, give or take. And the second part of that was, how can they be an RA?
Yeah, how do they prepare to become an RA in the future, and can they do it for more than 1 year?
They can definitely do it for more than 1 year, pending that they're not graduating or anything halfway through. And they can prepare to be an RA by checking back on our website in September. You're in luck, I am the chair of our student staff selection committee this year, and so we're in the process of revamping what that looks like for the 2020-2021, wow, that's kind of weird to say, academic year application process. And so we're going to have all of our information on how to be a successful candidate and what we're looking for come September. So usf.edu/housing, is that correct? Is that the website? Check back there for more information. But we put a lot of things in place to support you through the application process, from informational sessions to we have an email just dedicated to answering your questions. So if you find that you're navigating the application process and you're confused, shoot us an email and we'll help you out, and all that will be listed in September. But definitely apply. It can't hurt, and it's a great professional development opportunity just to go through the process. I definitely encourage everyone who's eligible and wants to pursue that to definitely try.
Nicole, I think Michelle followed up with saying, love that advice, Nicole. And yes, us moms are important, LOL.
It's true, I get it.
Also, Linda left a message and said, Nicole, mom and dad say hi. Keep up the good work. You were just talking about your parents, so they had a comment.
Yes, thanks, mom and dad. Couldn't do it without you, see?
I'm on TV, right?
Yeah, look at me.
We actually have another viewer named Donovan. I hope I said that correctly. Says, are there any perks for RAs?
Yeah, so one of the requirements for an RA is, of course, they have to live on campus, and so that is, their room and board is covered. And for community managers, they get stipends, and so that looks a little bit different than the RA position. And so I guess that's a perk, but of course, we're trying to give them all the tools to be successful in the roles, and they have to live amongst the residents in order to serve them. So it is a job, and we have to hold them accountable in that. But I think also the most important thing is the great leadership experience and professional development that they get through serving as a resident assistant. I mean, you can look up tons of successful people who have been RAs, Donald Glover, Adam Sandler, if he's your jam, Kerry Washington, Hillary Clinton. They've all been successful RAs, and so there's a lot of transferable skills that you get through this position that can transfer, of course, to a lot of different disciplines. I know a lot of students are interested in going into the medical field, and so I like to think of the intentional conversations component of the job as a great way, case management, right? When you're in the medical field, you need to take detailed notes on your patients, and so what better way to prepare to do that than taking some notes about your residents and sharing them with your supervisors so we can get them connected to the right people.
Nicole, it sounds like everyone's getting really curious about RAs and what they do. We
Yeah.
have another viewer named Isaac, and he asked, do you have to be a sophomore to be an RA? Who can qualify to be an RA?
Yeah, so technically you do have to have an academic year under your belt to be an eligible RA, but you can apply in your freshman year, if that makes sense, or your first year. So the second you get on campus, if you're like, yep, that's it for me in September, and you get all the information and you think you're eligible and you can apply, you can serve as a RA or a CM your second year. And so that would be August of 2020. Wow. Yeah. So definitely, you have to be a little bit older, but that's just because we want all of our students to have a rough understanding of all the resources that are available. And so you don't have to necessarily live on campus in order to serve as an RA or a CM, but we do want you to have a year under your belt so that you know what services are available to you and how to be successful in the role.
And Nicole, if any students have any more questions about being an RA or any questions for you, where should they reach you?
Yeah, they should definitely email raselect@usf.edu. So raselect@usf.edu. And we will definitely answer any questions they have about the application process, how to be successful, what the perks, if you will, of the role are. And we try to get back to them within, 24 to 48 hours or so.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Nicole, for being here and sharing all that information with us.
Yeah, definitely.
Now it's time for some special announcements. Are you attending USF during the summer? If so, summer room selection is now open. Just log into the housing portal and select Summer 2019 Room Selection. The early arrival form for the summer A, B, and C sessions are now open as well. If you're an admitted student, you will want to attend Bulls Unite Day next Saturday, April 13th. It's your chance to learn from experts around the university, tour campus, and prepare for your life at USF. Be sure to register to attend at usf.edu/admissions. Are you interested in living in a living learning community? We still have spots left in all 13 of our living learning communities, but they won't last forever. Explore your options at usf.edu/LLC to find the community best for you. Well, that's just about all the time that we have. But before we go, I want to remind you that USF Housing Live airs every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Join us for our next episode, Live the Bulls Life, on Wednesday, April 10th. You can watch at facebook.com/USF Housing, the USF Class of 2023 Facebook group, or in full 1080p high definition at youtube.com/USF Housing. USF Housing Live is produced by Housing and Residential Education at the University of South Florida in Tampa. Our motto is best place to live, best place to work, and best place to learn. Thank you to tonight's guests, Rachel Garcia and Nicole Onofreo, for joining me this evening. Thank you to our production crew, to you, our viewers, and of course, there's always just one last thing. Go Bulls! Good night, everyone.